Was the Apostle Paul the original Antichrist? Former minister and Bible college graduate Jeffrey Daugherty raises this and other staggering questions from the New Testament itself. The Christian whistleblower asks if Jesus' original message has been warped into a fear and guilt-based control matrix. Here's Ali with more.
Thanks, Seb. Daugherty's 35 years of research challenge everyone to consider new perspectives and ask themselves, just what lies behind my religion? Are we born with original sin or the spark of divinity within?
Deep questions, Ali. Thanks. The Christian whistleblower. We'll be watching.
Late night in the Heartland. Good to hear you. Good to see you. Good to be here. Hello, cousins. It's great to see all the cousins here. Special shout out to the cousins. We are family. You know the old song. And we appreciate every single one of you. Thanks to all of the guests and visitors. Thanks even to the trolls. When I'm warning you, I spent about 9 hours on this study. So don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me. I have a very short fuse today, I think, because I did so much work on this. It's a lot of research. So let's all be nice. Let's all be interesting. Let's all be polite. And we will have a good time. And we will learn some good stuff. As always, folks, before we hop right in, we are brought to you by the great folks at Focus Life Force Energy. Go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the Focus Life Force Energy logo. You can get up to 30 days free. I say jump right in. Why wait? It's great stuff. On your phone, on your home. High consciousness on demand. And trust me, some of you bitches can use some high consciousness on demand because you ain't got it on hand. Anyway, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're ready to rock and roll. What is it, Wednesday night? Yeah, it's Wednesday night. It's February 24th. And do you know where your children are? I seriously asked that question because, wow, it's a crazy world out there. And speaking of crazy worlds and speaking of things that make you go, and wow, and I just can't do that anymore like I used to be able to. This is one of those things. Michael Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. Last night we talked about Willy Wonka and ruined some childhoods, but, you know, that's what I'm here for. And tonight we move right in to the king of pop, Michael Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. And it's one or of two beliefs about Michael. Was Michael a monster, or was Michael an ethereal man? And that's a pretty decent thumbnail right there. I got to pat myself on the back for that one. That's pretty cool. So we're going to look at this. We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about it. And hopefully we're going to take you some places where no man or no woman has taken you before, and bring up some ideas that you never thought about, some things that you never considered. And it'll spur some great phone calls later when we do open the lines. They are not open right now. They are not open right now. So please don't call. It's nice to see everybody in the chat room. David, Dawn, Linda. I understand Dawn's a big Michael Jackson fan. Dawn, you're either going to be really, really excited or really, really pissed. One of the two. Don't know which one it's going to be. Shout out to everybody on D Live. Shout out to everybody on Twitter via Periscope. Shout out to everybody on Facebook. Oh, how about this? Somebody's mama. She got a new name, Shanann Kayla. I got my mom watching tonight. She might be your Sikh senior citizen, the first Sikh senior citizen to listen. I don't know. We have a lot of folks over in the nation of India that listen, so maybe not the first Sikh senior citizen, but certainly a very welcome Sikh senior citizen. Say that 6 times fast. Go ahead. I dare you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Ready or not. And there ain't no reason to beat around the bush. When you're talking about Michael Jackson, it all comes down to the allegations, the child sex abuse allegations. You know, I forgot that Michael got involved with the Nation for a little while, too, the Nation of Islam. Oh, shit, that's huge, man. How did I forget that? 9 hours of study, Jeff. He had one job, 9 hours, and you forgot the Nation of Islam tie-in, because that's huge with the tie-ins, with the people running the record industry. Oh, it all adds up, ladies and gentlemen. It all adds up. But with Michael, everything begins and ends with those allegations of child sexual abuse. And whether you think Michael Jackson is monster or whether you think Michael Jackson is ethereal man, it all comes down to what you think about these child allegations. So let's look into them. The people versus Jackson, Michael Jackson, the people of the state of California. American singer-songwriter Michael Jackson charged with molesting Gavin Arvizo, a cancer patient in remission, who wasn't in remission when he started seeing Michael, and his family said that it was the spark and the love and the encouragement that Michael gave that put him into remission, but we won't go there right this second. A cancer patient in remission, 13 at the time of the alleged abuse. Jackson was indicted on 4 counts of molesting a minor, 4 counts of intoxicating a minor to molest him, 1 count of attempted child molestation, 1 count of conspiring to hold the boy and his family captive, and conspiring to commit extortion and child abduction. Now, the jury returned a not guilty verdict on all 10 felony counts, plus 4 lesser included misdemeanors on June 13, 2005. So fairness demands us to say that Michael Jackson was acquitted of all charges leveled against him. Michael Jackson was acquitted of all charges leveled against him. So if you say Michael Jackson was a child molester, then you are telling a fib. He's never been convicted. And if you believe in the American way, and if you believe in habeas corpus, if you believe in the rule of law, then you have to say Michael Jackson is not a pedophile because he was never convicted. Now, I have shared terrible Michael Jackson jokes in the past. Dawn, close your eyes, because I would say things like, what's the commonality between Kmart and Michael Jackson? They both usually have boys' underwear half off. Things like that. And I do regret saying those, even though I said it again and I'm having to chew the inside of my mouth and not to laugh. But it's one of those things, ladies and gentlemen. It's one of those things that we have to consider. And it must be said, he was found not guilty on all felony and misdemeanor accounts, ladies and gentlemen. Misdemeanor counts. The trial included testimony from Macaulay Culkin, actor Chris Tucker. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? That Chris Tucker. And years after Jackson died in 2013, one of the defense witnesses, one of the guys that got on the stand and said, Michael never touched me. Michael's a great guy. I love Michael. Well, this guy, Wade Robson, changed his position and said that he had a mental breakdown from abuse by Michael. And now I remember. Michael did abuse me. And even after the revelations from Robson, 4 jurors on the trial were polled, and they said that they still would have voted to acquit Jackson, even if Robson's testimony had not been included. So Chris Tucker singled out the accuser's mother, who he testified had mental problems. In other words, Chris Tucker said, that bitch was crazy. Chris Tucker says he told him, and if you've never heard Chris Tucker do his Michael Jackson impression, it's really good. Chris Tucker said he told Michael to watch out for the mother because he felt suspicious. You need to watch out, be careful. Tucker said he thought the accuser, whom Tucker befriended in 2000 as the boy was battling cancer, was smart and cunning. Tucker was doing stand-up, and this guy's mother sent the kid up to Chris Tucker. I'm dying of cancer. We need money. Chris Tucker was giving him money. Chris Tucker was helping him out. And then they tried to work Chris Tucker. So anyway, he told the jurors that the boy would reference his illness when asking Tucker for money. It is what it is. Also, Macaulay Culkin was often a frequent companion of Michael Jackson. And I'm going to use some pieces of video from the video that Dave Weiss told us. The video is called Entering Neverland, and it's by the Hibbler Productions YouTube channel. And we are going to show you some bits and pieces of this. And I think it'll be very instructive for you, very helpful for you. Let me find the right minutes here. Let me go to 11:19, and we're going to hear from, first of all, we're going to hear from Macaulay Culkin, ladies and gentlemen, about Michael Jackson. Roll 'em, Dano.
Forward when he was alive. You know, I mean, he was a god to people, and to me, he was, you know, I knew he was a pop singer, but beyond that, you know, I wasn't one of the fans. I think that's one of the reasons why we connected. You know, they go, oh, you slept in the same bedroom as him. It's like, I don't think you understand. Michael Jackson's bedroom is 2 stories. And it has like 3 bathrooms and this and that. So when I slept in his bedroom, yeah, but you have to understand the whole scenario. And the thing is with Michael is that he's not very good at explaining himself, and he never really has been, because he's not a very social person. I mean, you're talking about someone who's been sheltered and sheltering himself also for the last like 30 years, or, you know, and so he's not very good at communicating to people and not very good at conveying what he's actually trying to say to you. And so when he says something like that, you know, people, you know, he doesn't quite understand why people react the way that they do.
Why do you think he likes young people?
It's because it's the same reason why he liked me, was the fact that I didn't care who he was. That was the thing. I talked to him like he was a normal human being, and that's what, and kids do that to him, because he's not, I mean, he's Michael Jackson, the pop singer, but he's not the god of, you know, the king of pop or anything like that. He's just, you know, a guy who's actually very kid-like himself and wants to go out there and wants to play video games with you.
So that was Macaulay Culkin talking about Michael Jackson and making really, really good points, ladies and gentlemen, making really good points. Can I please go forward? Making really, really good points. And you talk about, you know, they were in Michael Jackson's bedroom. Now, I didn't know that Michael Jackson's bedroom was 2 freaking stories. And that really changes things. You could sleep in Michael Jackson's bedroom and never see Michael Jackson. You could sleep in Michael. That's a terrible joke, Nathan. You could sleep in Michael Jackson's bedroom and never see Michael Jackson. 2 stories, 3 bathrooms. So it's very, very interesting, and it puts a new perspective on things, and it gives you a fuller perspective and a fuller understanding of what was actually going on. Now we're going to hear from one of the people, the main people that accused Jackson, Michael, and we're going to hear what Gavin Arvizo and the family has to say. I think the family's on here too, of what they had to say about Michael Jackson. And this is the guy and the family that would later sue Michael Jackson, which would lead to the court, the famous court trial that where Michael Jackson was acquitted that we referenced earlier. I'm trying to get this as close as I can, but you're going to have to bear with me. Okay, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen, with Gavin Arvizo talking about Michael Jackson.
Gavin met Jackson 2 years ago after he'd been told he was dying of cancer.
Mercury, not sick at all, no more cancer. All gone.
He told my parents to plan for his funeral because there was no chance.
They told your
They
parents
told him to plan for his funeral.
plan.
They told he wasn't gonna grow. He wasn't gonna be able to have kids.
I had a growth spurt.
He had growth spurts during chemotherapy.
I went from 4'10" to
Listen to what Michael says.
See? Medicine don't know it all, do they?
My children and me know what rejection is. To be neglected, to be spit on, to be talked about, to be made an outsider. Only because of our status in life, of what we were going through. And Michael did not have that. He said, come to him, not just Gavin, but Star and David and me, and called us his family. And Gavin was the one that asked him, could I call you Daddy? And Michael said, of course. And so through him, it sparked Star and David calling him Daddy Michael. Very innocent and beautiful relationship, which everyone has spun it out of control. He's a very...
Let's play this too. Or maybe not. Maybe not. But anyway, folks, these are the people that later accused Michael Jackson. These are the ones that later accused Michael Jackson. I don't understand it. How do you go from one to the other? Well, there's a lot of dollars involved in it, ladies and gentlemen. And here's the other guy that accused Michael Jackson. Again, we're still reading or showing you from Hibbler Productions video from entering Neverland. And this, sorry about that. Hit the wrong button, but Hibbler Productions deserves a little promo there. Let me show you what Wade Robson had to say about Michael Jackson before he decided that Michael Jackson was a bad guy. So let me get to 2208. Where's 2208? And we will drop this on you. Here's Wade Robson talking about Michael Jackson.
Now, besides raising your child that you now have.
Yeah, things have changed since then, raising a boy. But I'm starting on Cirque du Soleil, Michael Jackson show. So it's, the equivalent of the Beatles' Love show that they have, or the Elvis show, but for Michael, which is, exciting and terrifying all at the same time because it's such a huge responsibility. But that was why I took it on. Michael was such a huge part of my career and life. We were friends for 20 years before he passed, since I was 7. So it's an opportunity for me to give back a little bit to his legacy. It's such a big part of his legacy, and to make sure as much as I can that it's done right and that it really represents his essence.
And Mr. Robson has adamantly denied under oath and in numerous interviews over the past 20 years that Michael Jackson ever did anything inappropriate to him. Now he wants us to believe that he committed perjury at least twice and has been lying to anyone and everyone about Mr. Jackson since the early 1990s so he can file a claim for money. Mr. Robson's transparent lawsuit comes nearly 4 years after Michael passed. His claim is outrageous and sad. Jermaine Jackson, Michael's brother, said Wade Robson is full of, and then used an expletive. What's your response?
I understand completely how hard it is to understand this. That being said,
if you're going to be accused, you're going to say you defended Michael Jackson while he was alive because he was good for your career, and now that he's gone, there's an opportunity here to sue his estate. He can't defend himself and get money. Why didn't you go to the lawyers and do this quietly and try to settle make some kind of a deal?
Right. I understand how confusing it is to understand, how hard it is to understand. I get that. But all it takes is a little bit of education into child sexual abuse and realizing how unfortunately typical my scenario is. The trauma and the psychological effects of child sexual abuse last for so long. I had no understanding of this until up to just over a year ago. And I'm just at the beginning of my healing process. I'm sure I'll be dealing with this for the rest of my life.
So just to put it in perspective, while Michael was alive and was a cash cow to Mr. Robson, he was the greatest guy ever. But as soon as Michael died, within 24 hours, this same guy, Wayne Robson, was pitching a Michael Jackson tribute show. And he eventually got hired to direct and run the Michael Jackson show in Vegas by Cirque du Soleil. But the estate of Michael Jackson said thank you, but no thank you. And once the estate blocked Robson from being able to run the Vegas show, that's when all of a sudden, I remember. Michael did fuck me in the ass. I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, it's awfully damn convenient. It's awfully damn convenient. Seems that way to me. Now, just to put in perspective, we've heard, let's put this in perspective on some, let's just put this in perspective. I'll just leave it at that, and we'll play this for you.
You can't. Right. You can't do it in current society. The dudes in the documentary, the two we got molested. The one was the number one key witness who's saying he didn't get molested.
Okay, well, then now he shouldn't be able to say anything.
Whoops. Shit, what happened?
Both of them were witnesses.
Because that means they should go to jail.
And now they're like, well, no, that's not true. We were young, bitch. You were 20.
How old was he? He was in his 20s?
Yeah.
Well, also, like, isn't that perjury? It means you lied in court?
Be fucked.
You can't lie in court either way, one way or the other. You can't lie to protect somebody, and you can't lie to accuse someone either. You can't lie.
I don't know what the deal is.
I mean, that seems like that's something they could drag him to court for.
And the Jackson came out and went, well, isn't it convenient you guys are coming out now when you're in financial trouble?
Of course.
Well, by the way, those two have been clout chasing, have been clickbait for a long time when it comes to Michael Jackson. So, you know, it's kind of hard to believe those two, especially Wade Robson.
Right, and that's what a lot of people are saying at this point.
He's very shifty, and it's tough to believe him.
Exactly.
Said this was I don't believe a word of anything in this documentary. Okay, Wendy.
You met him, didn't you, when you were 14?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with him over a 10-year period. And I first met him at 14.
And so what was he like?
Well, he was extremely humble, very sweet, very funny, very, very sincere, and just had a very, very gentle, kind energy about him. I spent a lot of time at Neverland. He invited me to Neverland. When you hear these ridiculous claims that Neverland was supposed to be some kind of place to lure people in, it's just outrageous. I've seen it for myself. And, you know, the second time I went, you know, I actually, I really broke down and cried because I saw all the beautiful things he was doing for, you know, underprivileged people, children, folks of all ages. And it just really broke my heart that, you know, we live in a world where someone who has nothing but kindness and goodwill to offer can be so deliberately misinterpreted and made out to be a monster. And I thought, you know, this will never get exposed.
Can you understand why people might see it as a strange thing to do as a grown man, to invite sort of younger children to come over and stay?
Well, he didn't invite anyone ever into his bedroom. He never made invitations to people staying in.
What's said in the documentary?
It's not contrary to what Michael Jackson's claimed. And the documentary is one-sided. It's emotionally manipulative.
To be like children, to love children, to be as pure as children are, and to make yourselves as innocent and see the world through eyes of wonderment and the whole magical quality of it all. And I love that. And there are built inside the walls here beds for some of those sick children who come. And what I realized when I saw that is that you have to be a person who really cares about children to build it into your architecture. Yes. We have children that come who are intravenously, they're very sick and they're bedridden and they can't sit up. Right, they can't sit up. And these beds, they're hospital beds. You push a button and they move up and they move down, and they're able to watch. We have a magic show. We show the current films, if it's cartoons, anything, you know, and anything so they can escape to that world of magic that they don't get a chance to experience.
With Michael, there was a genuine.
You know, you could just go on, but you know, it makes me a little bit emotional because it kind of puts in frame and in context. You know, you've heard the story. I've told the story, but my buddy and I were in Vegas. We lived in Vegas, and incidentally, he was at the Trump, by the way. That's where Michael stayed, was at the Trump. And we're doing the security because, you know, somebody has to go and do security, and we're sitting there. And this ball comes rolling down the hall, and I stop with my foot, and I look at Gary. I'm like, the fuck am I supposed to do? He's like, shit, I don't know, roll it back. So I fucking, it was a little ball, like red and blue ball. So I rolled it back. In about a couple minutes later, here comes the fucking ball rolling back. I'm like, oh, God. And this went on for a couple hours, and it was punctuated by, and we're sitting here, and it's a fairly long hall, probably 30 feet. And then it was a T. and the bedrooms and the bathrooms were down there, and it was just a regular hallway length, a little bit narrow, and the ball would roll, and then we'd see Michael run past and go peekaboo, and then the ball would roll back and he'd peekaboo go the other way, and we're like, what the fuck is going on here? And you hear the stories and you think this guy's fucking weird, and I'm not saying he wasn't fucking weird, but he was. I mean, you hear these stories and it just, wow. You're talking about a gentle soul. You're talking about a childlike soul, in my opinion. And it's just watching these things really, really puts it into perspective for me. And sorry, I got emotional there for a second, but it's really emotional to think about what's going on and then see it in a new perspective. And moving past that, let's move deeper into our subject. Let's talk about Michael and Donald Trump. And Donald Trump said to Michael Jackson, he really was a very, very good businessman. Donald Trump doesn't say that about many people, and Donald Trump wouldn't say that about anybody if it wasn't true, because Donald Trump doesn't want to say somebody's a good businessman and have them turn out to be a bad businessman, because that makes him look like a bad businessman. So Michael and Donald, CNN reports that Michael actually lived on some of Donald Trump's properties. He lived at Trump Tower. He lived down at Mar-a-Lago. And when you are Michael Jackson, you can live wherever you want to live. And the fact that he chose to consistently buy and rent and live at Donald Trump's properties shows that Michael Jackson respected Donald Trump. And the reason why, in Michael Jackson, terrifically loyal. And it tells you something about Michael Jackson, that he was a loyal individual. And it tells you something about Donald Trump. If Michael Jackson was that childlike, and if Michael Jackson was that savvy, and if Michael Jackson was an ethereal or an extra dimensional, maybe beyond human being, for Trump to have won his trust, folks, if you've given up on Donald Trump, you've made a mistake. President Trump is not finished. This isn't a show about President Trump, and I'm telling you, don't give up on Donald Trump. After Michael died, and this is where you can really tell about people, is after the guy's gone and you can't, he's gone. Donald Trump said, when Michael Jackson died, I knew him very well. Everybody was talking about Michael Jackson, but they didn't know him. Donald Trump says books worth of information there in just a few words. On April 2015, Donald Trump tweeted out that Michael Jackson was very misunderstood, a great talent. And this is really insightful here, folks. And Jermaine got on President Trump for saying this, but President Trump's going to tell the truth. He told Anderson Cooper regarding Michael Jackson that Michael was an unbelievably talented guy. He lost tremendous confidence because of honestly bad surgery. Believe it or not, when you lose your confidence, you can even lose your talent. Point being that Michael Jackson's dead, and if you're going to talk trash about somebody after they're dead, and the worst thing you've got to say is a very honest evaluation. He's running for president at this time, ladies and gentlemen. He's running for president at this time, and he says, you know what? Michael lost his confidence. He lost some of his confidence because of botched surgeries and situations like that. So Trump was displaying empathy for Michael Jackson. And this is the worst thing that Donald Trump had to say about Michael Jackson. It puts things in perspective. And I mean, this picture to me says a lot too. It says a lot about Trump, and it says a lot about Michael. I mean, Michael, peekaboo. I wonder if him and Don rolled the ball. I don't know. But I would sure wear the shit out of that jacket. I like Michael's jackets. I really do. Cynthia, if we get some Michael jackets, if you see them, grab them. I want one, size large. And look at Donald. Look at our president, President Trump. I mean, I hate to criticize President Trump, but he's not that good an actor. They're having a great time. And if this guy is able to connect with this guy, it says a lot about this guy. And it says a lot about this guy. I love my president. And I have a growing affection and appreciation for Michael Jackson. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. If you don't like it, too bad. Michael and his daughter Paris spent a lot of time in the Trump's company in the 1990s. And Donald Trump went so far as to call Michael Jackson a very good friend of his. In April of 1990, Michael traveled to Atlantic City to assist Trump with the opening of Taj Mahal, which is where I met President Trump. He wasn't president then. He stayed in the $10,000 a night Alexander the Great suite. And President Trump says of Michael Jackson, if I ever needed him for something, he'd always be there. He was very loyal to his friends. And folks, as we get deeper into this presentation, I have a feeling that went both ways. If Michael ever needed Donald Trump would be there. Because we know above all things that Donald Trump is very loyal to his friends, and so was Michael Jackson, to his credit. And again, folks, I've taken a lot of pictures with a lot of people I don't know, but you can't fake this. This is real. These two are broed up. They really enjoy each other. And it's a real, genuine relationship. This guy is not exactly having a great time. Hey, you're on a fucking private airplane. It can't be that bad, bitch. Cheer up. I don't know. Maybe I'm not going to say it. I was going to say an inappropriate joke, but I won't. And on that Sunday when Michael had gone to help Trump with the grand opening of the Taj, Michael was due to leave to go to Indiana to be at the bedside of his close friend who was losing his brave 5-year battle with AIDS. Folks, when you talk about Michael, the reason he was Michael Jackson's close friend is because Michael Jackson found out that this kid was dying of AIDS, and Michael Jackson gave of himself and of his time and of his love and of his money and made this guy his friend. So President Trump rides with Michael to the airport. I mean, if you're not buddies, it's like Trump Tower or at Taj Mahal. Okay, Michael, bye. Michael leaves. But Don's like, no, I'll ride with you to the airport. These two are broed up, man. They're broed up. They're broed up. So they get to the airport and people come up and tell Michael, we're sorry, but Ryan has died. You know, fucking Michael, he fell apart. It wasn't no peekaboo anymore, Dad. It wasn't no he was crying on Don's shoulder. You know, it was a bad situation. So what does Donald Trump do? Like, get this guy off of me, take him. What did Donald Trump do? Donald Trump, who's about to get on his jet, I think this is his jet in these pictures, go back to New York. What did Donald Trump do? He accompanied Michael to those people's house of the kid that had just died of AIDS. Donald fucking Trump accompanied them on the journey to the White family home. And every one of you that wants to talk about Donald Trump is a bad person, every one of you that wants to talk about Donald Trump as a horrible person, fuck you. Donald Trump is a decent, honorable human. I love my president, and he's not finished. He's not finished, ladies and gentlemen. He is not finished. I guarantee he's not finished. You can tell about a man when there's nothing for him to gain. What does he do? The friendship was strongest in 94, after the world tour, after the child molestation accusations. If you're Donald Trump, you probably want to distance yourself from Michael after the child molestation accusations, because most of you still thought he did it. Maybe most of you still think he did it. The smart business decision is to distance yourself from Michael. Michael, maybe we'll have coffee, distance yourself from Michael. That's a smart business decision. But what did Donald Trump do? He said, hey, Michael, move into Trump Tower. Stay a couple floors underneath me. And Michael Jackson lived in Trump Tower, a couple floors below Donald Trump, in one of the nicest apartments in the building. And they would often spend time together. Donald Trump says that Michael would come down to my apartment and we'd talk a lot about business. Of course, Donald Trump's apartment was 2 floors, just like Michael Jackson's bedroom, right? We talk a lot about business. What kind of business was Donald Trump and Michael Jackson talking about? What kind of business would Donald Trump and Michael Jackson be talking about? Think of that as we move on. And Donald Trump said he was actually a very, very smart businessman. Michael Jackson, very, very smart businessman, in the opinion of a very, very smart businessman. And now we move into another portion, Michael versus Sony and the cabal. And before we do that, I know a lot of you use CBD like Michael used to use little red and blue balls and roll them across the floor. And I know a lot of you use essential oils like Michael would use them gloves when he grabbed his balls. But I know a lot of you use a lot of this stuff that we have at whistleblowercbd.com. If you get it from me, you get a better product and you give Jeff a few shekels to help expand this work. And if you want to have a business for yourself in that, you can start making your own shekels and maybe start building your dream instead of somebody else's. So go to whistleblowercbd.com and check that stuff out. So Michael versus Sony and the cabal. Did Michael declare war on the Illuminati? I say yes. You evaluate the evidence and see what you think. In 2002, Michael came out against Sony Records. Michael gave a public speech where he declared, I've generated several $1 billion for Sony, several billion. And they never thought that this performer, myself, would outthink them. What exactly was Michael referring to? Whatever it was much more than music. It's personal. I think the racial undertones there are obvious, beside the fact he was at an Al Sharpton-sponsored event. So Michael says Sony didn't think that this little black boy would outsmart them. What exactly was he talking about? And then Michael went on to say, and this is in chronological order of the speech, I read through it today, we can't let them get away with what they're trying to do. What was Sony trying to do to Michael? Now, I know they were trying to tank his album, but what was Sony trying to do to Michael? You have to look beyond Sony to understand what Michael was talking about. He was talking about the domination of the music industry by the Zio Dominions that we've talked about. I used to think they were from Planet Z, from Planet X. I thought they're from Planet Z. They're from Dimension Z. They come through Portal Z. We sometimes speak in ways that we're able to do what we do. And this, of course, was a time that he was also starting to get involved with the Nation of Islam. And the Nation of Islam has printed some really great books. And I have brought teachings to you from them and will continue to do so. And, I'm not endorsing, I'm not saying, I'm just showing you the cover of a book, Nation of Islam, The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews, the Jewish Role in the Enslavement of the African. That's something that the Nation of Islam wrote. And whether you think it's true or you don't think it's true, these are the things that Michael Jackson is referring to when he's talking about what Sony's doing. It's not just Sony, it's the entire industry. And Michael would go on to say in that speech that they enslave the artists, and Michael said especially the black ones. That's what Michael said. It's not what Jeff said. So Michael said, we cannot allow them to get away with what they're trying to do. I'm leaving them. They're very angry at me because I just did good business. Folks, this sounds very, very personal. And if you aren't sure that it was personal, he then called out the head honcho of Sony and said, Tommy Mottola's a devil. I'm not supposed to say what I'm going to say right now. Why isn't he supposed to say it? Because you're not supposed to talk bad about the Illuminati. You're not supposed to talk bad about the Freemasons. You're not supposed to talk bad about the New World Order. You're not supposed to talk bad about the Sanhedrin. You're not supposed to talk bad about the Limpens. You're not supposed to talk bad about the Zio Dominions. But Michael says, I got to let you know this. And then he says, he has a moment of clarity. He says, wait a minute, please don't videotape what I'm going to say, okay? Just turn that off. And then he says, do it. Do it. I don't mind. Tape it. In my mind, I think of those meetings in Trump Tower where Donald Trump and Michael Jackson are sitting there talking. And Michael's telling Donald, well, you know, Donald, it's what they're doing to me, Donald. It's, and you're so beautiful, Donald. I love you. But what they're doing to me, Donald. And Trump's like, you got to get him, Michael. He's hard to deal. You got to hit him. You got to hit him hard. And he says, Michael, you got to get up there and you got to call him out. You got to tell him. That's just what goes on in my mind. Maybe not in your mind. Yeah, but Donald, I mean, you're so beautiful. Anyway, Michael had very big things to say here. What did he initially not want to tape? He was just getting started on a new crusade. He says, Mariah Carey came to me crying. She was crying so badly I had to hold her. That's a picture. Michael Jackson holding Mariah Carey. But anyway, there's a lot of runny makeup in that scenario. Lots and lots of runny mascara. And Michael Jackson says, this is an evil man. Well, actually, Michael Jackson repeats Mariah Carey saying this is an evil man. He follows me. He taps her phone, says Michael. And then Michael says he's very, very evil. Dude, he's busting out the freaking Illuminati. He's busting out the Sanhedrin. And then Michael doubles down. He's a horrible human being. And then Michael says, we have to continue our drive until he's terminated. We can't allow him to do this to great artists. We just can't. And all I can say is, wow. And then Michael says, I want to let you know, I appreciate everything you've done. You've been amazing. You're so loyal. Diana, not Princess Diana, Diana Ross, Waldo, all the people here. I love you. You've been amazing. I love you. But still, I promise you, the best is yet to come. You know where he got that line from, don't you? That's a line from Donald Trump. You've heard Donald Trump say it 1,000 times. The best is yet to come. He gave Michael that line, helping him prepare for this speech. That's what they were talking about in Trump Tower. The best is yet to come, and won't it be fine? I'm telling you, hold on. Hold on. Michael was a man on a mission dropping bombs. And do you really think that Michael didn't get some help from Donald Trump on this plan and strategy? Who is Michael declaring war on? Michael is declaring war on those that promote racism. Michael is declaring war on the limpet-dominated music industry, the child traffickers that tried to scapegoat him. And he was doing it all with the help and advice of Donald Trump, in my studied opinion. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. But when you strike the Illuminati always strikes back. When you rebel against the empire always strikes back. And 1 month after Michael called out Sony publicly, 1 month, that documentary film crew by Martin Bashir followed Michael around for several months, compiled a documentary that would later be called Living with Michael Jackson. That's what started the momentum for the trial that Michael would have to stand. His first non-Sony album led to charges. Thanks, baby. How's this going? His first non-Sony album led to charges of anti-Semitism. Oh, there's a couple things you can always depend upon the regime media pulling out. The race card and the anti-Semitism card. Kind of hard to pull the race card on a black guy. It's tough. But you can always pull that anti-Semite card. And who did it But none other than, and this is not a racist statement, this is just a fact, and it's they even brag about it. It's called the Jew York Times. It is the paper of record of the Jewish people. It's a source of pride. And in 1995, June 15, the New York Times claimed that Michael's song, They Don't Care About Us, contained anti-Semitic slurs. Well, if you look at the lyrics, and these lyrics seem a little bit shocking, but think of some of the other lyrics you hear that nobody ever bats an eye at. But all of a sudden, Michael Jackson, who's called out the Illuminati, he gets in trouble for saying, Jew me, sue me, everybody do me, kick me, kike me, don't you black and white me. That's what Michael Jackson said in the song. And Cynthia's like, woo. That's what Michael Jackson said in the song. So they called him an anti-Semite, and Michael responded, the idea that, I'm not going to do that. The idea that these lyrics could be deemed objectionable is extremely untruthful and hurtful to me and misleading. The song, in fact, says Michael, is about the pain of prejudice and hate. And it is a way to draw attention to social and political problems. And listen to these. I get into it and I start getting emotional. Now I know why those pageant girls, they do this, because if you wave like this, it kind of dries your eyes out. Those, the tears well up and you go like this and it dries them down. It dries them down. So anyway, I better leave the glasses off just for this. So Michael Jackson says, I am the voice of the accused. I am the voice of the attacked. I am the voice of everyone. I am the skinhead. I am the Jew. I am the black man. I am the white man. I am the one who was attacking. I am not the one who was attacking. It is about the injustices to young people and how the system can wrongfully accuse them. I am angry and outraged that I could be so misinterpreted. And he was right. He was right, ladies and gentlemen. Now I know why they do it. And I don't even have any mascara to wear or any eyeliner like some other presenters wear. We're not going to name any names. Michael emerges victorious. Michael was acquitted of all charges in his child sex trial. Free from Sony, both History and Invincible were huge commercial successes. He announced his This Is It tour. It was met with record-breaking ticket sales. Over 1 million tickets sold in 2 hours. Rock on, Michael. The concerts were to run from July 13, 2009 to March 6, 2010. He sold 1 million tickets in 2 hours. It looked like Michael had taken on the cabal and was winning. And he was going to be able to retire on his own terms. And who helped him put this plan together? Donald freaking Trump, ladies and gentlemen. Michael was doing his own art of the deal. Michael emerges victorious almost. Less than 3 weeks before the This Is It show was to begin in London, with all the concerts sold out, Michael Jackson died from cardiac arrest. Did they kill him? Well, in 2009, the LA County coroner ruled that Jackson's death was a homicide. That means they killed him. His doctor was charged with involuntary manslaughter, was found guilty, receiving the maximum sentence of 4 years in prison, which is the very least that Governor Cuomo should face in New York. He was released on October 28th due to California prison overcrowding and good behavior. There's some oddities about Michael's death. Can we look at some oddities about Michael Jackson's death for just a moment, please? Can we do that? I wear the glasses because they're blue blockers for the computer. Here's some oddities about Michael Jackson's death, and I'm not sure what this video is, but I'm going to play it. Oh, this is the video of the coroner's van. So here's the coroner's van. And let me just stop it. If this is fake, it's a really, really good fake. Because I've done an extensive study on this. It's the same exact van that picked up Michael's body from the house. It's got the same license plate and the same license plate number. It's got the same registration number. So if somebody faked it, they faked the shit out of this. I am convinced that this is the van that picked up Michael Jackson. They put his dead ass, allegedly, in the back. And we're watching this coroner's van leave. And then we'll see some very curious shit happen right about here. Somebody jumps the fuck out of the back of the van. And in the long shot, the way the guy jumped out, I want to see this. Because in my view, he moves an awful lot like Michael. Watch this guy jump out of the back of this van. Now, I'm not saying it is Michael Jackson, and I'm not saying it's real, but I'm saying that somebody faked the shit out of this, and they did a great fake because this bitch moved like Michael Jackson. Watch this shit. He moves like Michael. Skinny as shit like Michael. He's either Michael or a skinny-ass anorexic girl. What do you think? Real or fake? I don't know. I really don't know. But it's interesting as shit. So let's look at some questions about Michael's death. His This Is It concert contract was very, very complex. And it had terms where if Michael died during the course, which is only supposed to be 10 shows, if Michael were to die during the course of these concerts, there was a huge payoff and a clearing of his mounting debt. Does it mean anything on its own? No, but it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. 6 months before Michael died, almost to the day, to the week, as close as a weekly periodical could come, the Trump favorite National Enquirer, Donald Trump is, connected a lot with the National Enquirer, the publishers of it. They predicted to the week, and they didn't even use black magic gematria bullshit. I know. Trump favorite National Enquirer nailed the death within 6 month prediction. If you can see this, it says within 6 months. They said he'd be dead within 6 months, and they were exactly right. Does it mean anything in and of itself? No, but it's a question about Michael Jackson's death. Michael Jackson's death was first reported by TMZ, a trashy, sort of, kind of celebrity ambulance chasing outfit. So TMZ reported Michael's death before the coroner did and before Jermaine's public statement. And I do not ever remember any other death before or since where a family member and not an attending physician makes the announcement of the death. Why did Jermaine do it? Why didn't a attending physician do it? Why didn't the LA County coroner do it? And why did TMZ do it first? Does it mean anything on its own? Maybe, maybe not. And oh, by the way, let's just look at the tapes, Jeff. Well, love to, but somehow, doggone it, the Jackson home surveillance tapes all went missing mysteriously. Just like all the footage from the moon, just like all the telemetry from the moon, just like all the manuals from the moon, just like all the autopsy photos and information from JFK and JFK Jr. and Bobby. It's the damnedest thing how these things just go missing. They just went missing, ladies and gentlemen. Crazy, crazy shit, isn't it? Does it mean anything? Probably nothing. It's probably just a coincidence. And not only is all of the surveillance photos missing, but there's no verified photos of Michael dead. There's no verified photos of Michael dying. I might wear that jacket. I might. And I've never heard of this before or since. The attending physician refused to sign Michael's death warrant. Do you know who signed Michael's death warrant? Michael's death warrant was signed by LaToya Jackson. LaToya. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure LaToya is not a doctor. Pretty sure LaToya is not a doctor. What the hell is LaToya Jackson doing signing Michael Jackson's death certificate? Death warrant? Does it mean anything? Probably not. It's probably just another coincidence. Oh, yeah, the hospital where Michael went to. Nobody saw his ass there. Not one single staff member from the hospital has said that Michael was there. None of the cleaners saw him. None of the receptionists saw him. None of the other patients saw him. None of the doctors saw him. Nobody saw Michael at the hospital. Well, maybe they just didn't recognize the most famous person on earth. And you know, Michael, are you going to tell me they all look alike? Ain't nobody ever looked like Michael Jackson but Michael Jackson. But nobody saw him. But again, it's just hard to do with this heavy cup. It's none of my business. None of my business. Does it mean anything? Probably not. Just another coincidence. Michael Jackson died of cardiac arrest. So did Elvis Presley, by the way. I've talked to 3 men that were pallbearers, was good friends with 3 men that were pallbearers at the Elvis Presley funeral. Elvis Presley had an open casket funeral because Elvis Presley was really fucking dead. I talked to the last guy. I talked to the guy that did his hair. I talked to the last guy that touched him. I talked to Charlie, his best friend. I talked to JD, one of his close friends. Elvis was really dead, and Elvis's ass was really in that coffin. Trust me. I know. Why was Michael Jackson's funeral a closed casket funeral? He died of a heart attack. Why would it be a closed casket funeral? Not saying it means anything. It's probably just a coincidence, but wow. And I'm sure this doesn't mean anything either, but the LAPD chief resigned in the middle of the Jackson case. That's a career-making case, brothers and sisters, cousins of all ages. And the LAPD chief resigned in the middle of the case 2 years before his tenure was up. And his effective date of his resignation was October 31st, Halloween. That's kind of interesting. That's kind of interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Jackson was rolled out of the helicopter covered in a white sheet that didn't look like it had a body underneath it. Now, because of my crack research, I found that in that county, they don't cover bodies and didn't in that time cover bodies with white sheets. They cover them with those blue rubbery things, and they're stamped LA County coroners. Does that look like a body to you? What do they got down here? Is this his head or his little baby feet? That's flat as shit. It looked like, I don't know what's under there, but I'm pretty goddamn sure it ain't Michael Jackson. I don't know what they got there, but I'm pretty sure it ain't Michael Jackson. But who am I to say? What do I know? I don't know why. Maybe they ran out of the right sheets to use for the most famous guy in the world when he died. I don't know. Probably means nothing. And in the movie This Is It, the There was a scene from a movie, I believe it was called Greta. It was an old movie, and they dubbed Michael into it. And the character that Michael replaced in that movie, and I'm sure this means nothing, it's just a coincidence, but the character that Michael replaced, Michael put himself in that movie, that character in that film, he faked his death. The film's about this guy faking his death, and Michael puts himself in that guy's character. Probably doesn't mean anything, ladies and gentlemen. It's probably just a complete coincidence. LAX was shut down for 2 hours following Michael's death. Why? They didn't shut down Memphis Airport for 2 hours after Elvis died. Because Elvis was fucking dead. But they shut down LAX, which is the Los Angeles airport. Some visitors are here and they believe that Jesus was real and they believe that the Bible is true, every single word. So sometimes when things are a little bit hard to understand, I explain them to them because they obviously aren't rational. So LAX is the LA airport. And it was shut down for 2 hours following Michael's death, except for one single mysterious plane that took off. And oh yeah, by the way, when Jermaine Jackson, Dr. Jermaine Jackson, Coroner Jermaine Jackson, he's not really a coroner, I'm being facetious. When Jermaine Jackson was giving his announcement of Michael's death, he said that Michael was already dead on his way to the airport. Oh, I'm sorry, I mean hospital. Look at the tape. Michael was already dead on his way to the airport. Oh, shit, I mean the hospital. And then the airport was closed down for 2 hours and only one plane left. I don't know. It's probably just a coincidence, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. I'm sure it doesn't mean anything at all. And then they made this movie, The Jacksons. I guess it was a TV show. I didn't see it. Family Dynasty. And they're going to Michael's graveyard, right? Tell us where to go, guys. And the family goes to the wrong graveyard. How are you going to forget where your son's buried? And how's all you bitches going to forget? Maybe one or two forgot, but they all forgot where Michael was buried? Come on, man. Ain't enough Cavassier in the world to make you forget where your son is buried. Little Peter Pan lore. In the Peter Pan film, Peter Pan, they're talking about death, and Peter Pan says that death will surely be an adventure, a great adventure. There's nothing to be nervous about. Peter Pan says that. And then in the movie This Is It, Michael Jackson, in a kind of an odd moment, looks into the camera and says, "It's an adventure. It's a great adventure. There's nothing to be nervous about." How many times was Michael Jackson compared to Peter Pan? How many times did Michael Jackson compare himself to Peter Pan? By the way, he named his house Neverland. Probably doesn't mean anything. And then Kenny Ortega, who was the choreographer, director of the This Is It movie, did a tweet just after Michael died, quoting from the Peter Pan movie, saying the ice is melting, the sun is out, the flowers are all in bloom, and Captain Hook responds, "He's back." Peter Pan had come back from a presumed death. Probably doesn't mean anything. Probably doesn't mean anything. And if you're smart, you're asking the question, yeah, Jeff, it's kind of interesting, but why would he fake his death? Why would he possibly fake his death? And why would you possibly, in these uncertain financial times, not at least have some sort of a plan for helping secure your financial future? Precious metals have a 5,000 year track record of being real wealth. That's why Cynthia and I, we are stacking up some silver on a regular monthly basis. We're not financial advisors, and we don't give financial advice. We don't play financial advisors, not even on YouTube, but we are stacking up some silver because we think it's undervalued, and we do it automatically. We got a subscription. I get one of these every month, $467. You can get it for less than $20. They're subscriptions. And then every month we buy some extra silver too. Why? Because we want to give ourselves what we think could possibly be a good financial security. So I would encourage you to do it yourself. Get a subscription. Don't even think about it. And you can maybe build yourself some wealth. I mean, it's only worked for 5,000 years. It might not work for the next 5,000 years, but for the last 5,000 years, it's been great stuff. Mint Builder. Go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on that Mint Builder logo, and you can find out more about it. So why would Michael fake his death? Well, not for the reasons that you normally hear. So we all know that Michael was funky looking at the end. And the normal narrative is that he was bleaching his skin and he had too much surgery. And I'm not saying he didn't have some surgeries, but in my book, Assault on Aquarius, and I have done something special. Let me go to jeffreydaugherty.com and show you this. jeffreydaugherty.com. If you go over there right now, you'll see that right next to the, let me share this, right next to the video of this video, right next to the video of this video, you will see that there is a little advertisement here for my book, Assault on Aquarius. It talks about what I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to write another chapter tomorrow about Michael Jackson to include in this book. And if you want all of the deets, all the details on what I'm talking about here tonight, we've been talking a lot about 3, 6, or 9. So if you'll donate either $3, $6, or $9, up to you, I will send you the ebook version of Assault on Aquarius by Jeffrey Daugherty. It mainly talks about Elvis Presley, Elvis Presley's mother, Paul McCartney, John Lennon. But we're also going to put a chapter in on Michael Jackson. And all you have to do is go over to Assault on Aquarius. You click right there on donate. It'll take you over to Jeffrey Daugherty. You can put in $3, $6, $9. If you want to make it a monthly donation, you can. You can donate with PayPal or donate with a credit card. It's totally up to you. But that's something that I wanted to make available special. Assault on Aquarius by me, Jeffrey Daugherty. It explains what I'm about to talk about now, and we will include a chapter on Michael Jackson, so I probably won't be sending out those books until, what's today, Wednesday. Let's say I'll send it out by Monday. Please don't call yet. I haven't opened up the lines. But let's go ahead and look at this information that I'm talking about from the book, and it just makes this so much more like, So in the book, Assault on Aquarius, I assert that Paul McCartney, please don't call back. It distracts me, and I worked very hard on this, and I will block you and not let you call ever again if you call back again. Please do not call until I open the phone lines. I assert that Paul McCartney did not die in 1968. I know a lot of you are Paul is dead, guys, and it wasn't, was it 68? I think it was 68. But anyway, whatever date it was, he didn't really die. The Paul is dead. Paul was fucked up, but he wasn't dead. I know there's forensic evidence of inexplicable physical changes in Paul McCartney pre and post 68. But in the book that I just showed you, it's far more likely that the physical changes are the result of advanced, enhanced, MK Ultra, Tavistock, mind control, and temporal torture. That's where they warp you across time. And it fucks you up. It changed the physical appearance of Paul McCartney. So much so that forensic scientists from, I think it was Spain, it's in the book, said that it's not the same guy. I think it is the same guy. I haven't had a chance to meet Paul yet. I was supposed to, and he had to cancel on an event. Haven't had a chance to meet Paul. But Paul's eyes are now green. Sometimes your eyes change, but they always go darker. They never change from brown eyes to green eyes. It's in the book. My premise is that some of Michael's physical changes could also have been a result of similar temporal torture. And oh, by the way, Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson were friends. In the song Say, 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 it's a song by Jackson and McCartney. They are working together in a scheme to save orphans. Think, ladies and gentlemen, think of what a scheme to save orphans would look like today, since Michael's death. In this video for the song, McCartney performs magic tricks and Michael walks a tightrope. If you were creating a scheme that Donald Trump helped you think up on how to fake your death, and work behind the scenes to save orphans, you'd be walking a tightrope, wouldn't you? The sign on the wagon that McCartney and Jackson are riding in says Mac and Jack's Vaudeville Show. They're telling us that it was a show, that they're in a show. And Mac is a direct reference to Macca, and one of the great researchers in the Paul is Dead movement, who doesn't like me. What's her name? Her name is Tina Foster. She has a site called Plastic Macca. It's British slang. And McCartney is deliberately referencing the Paul is Dead movement and saying that he and Michael are putting on a show. Didn't Michael have this shit planned out? They're seeing gambling. It's a gamble. They're seeing acting. It's a performance. They're seeing dancing in black and white checkered suits, giving 2 thumbs up to the Illuminati. And the way they escape in this video is to create a false alarm to escape the authorities. It probably doesn't mean anything. And I probably spent too much time working on this and finding this stuff up. But say, I don't know, man. What about the Elvis connection? Elvis and his mother were the first modern victims of early MK Ultra mind control and energetic torture. It's in the book. Elvis warned Paul McCartney and John Lennon about this when the Beatles visited his California home. Jeff, how do you know? Were you there? No, but I've talked to 2 guys that were. And they told me about this shit. And oh, by the way, Michael was married to Lisa Marie Presley, Elvis's daughter. And where'd they honeymoon? Mar-a-Lago. I'm just saying. In my mind, there's no doubt that Lisa Marie, who I have met and talked with, nice girl, foul-mouthed, nice girl, a lot of fun, very, very powerful, passionate. She and McCartney no doubt warned Michael of what could happen when he resists the cabal. That's just my opinion. And there's a Scientology connection. Lisa Marie's been a Scientologist since 1969, actually late 68, December, but I just pushed it to 69. The Church of Scientology is bad, but it still has some seeds of good technology. And I can't prove this. Ooh, let me ask the Rods. Rods, am I right? The Rods say, yes, Jeff, you're right, for what it's worth. Lisa Marie was auditing Michael, and Michael was getting clear. That's when he decided enough of this bullshit. That's why he was waking up. And by the way, Elvis was also getting some good tech back in 76, 77, and he was coming out of it too. He wasn't going to join the church, but Elvis was getting some good tech. Elvis was getting cleared too. Yeah, I know. It's true. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. And there's a Jehovah Witness connection. Do you know that Jehovah Witnesses is a heavily Masonic, heavily Illuminati, heavily skull and bones connected organization? And I think there's about, let me say, how many Jehovah Witnesses are there in the world? I was going to say like 5 million. How many Jehovah Witnesses in the world? I say about 5 million. How many? How many Jehovah's Witnesses are there? How many Jehovah's Witnesses are there worldwide? Oh, a little low, about 8.6 million. So let's just round up and say there's 10 million Jehovah's Witnesses, okay? So if there's 10 million Jehovah's Witnesses at any given time, there's 5 million on the fence. Trust me. I used to preach about the Jehovah's Witnesses. I was thinking about being a Jehovah's Witness. I was going to the Kingdom Hall. Couldn't do it. It's mind control. But if there's 10 million Jehovah's Witnesses, there's 5 million on the fence. And if Michael Jackson, a known Jehovah's Witness, stops being a Jehovah's Witness, you got about 5 million Jehovah's Witnesses saying, oh, fuck this shit, I'm out. And Michael out, I'm out. Lots of black people in Jehovah's Witnesses, too. And Michael out, I'm out. And also, about the same time, guess who else was out? Prince. Oh, shit. Michael and Prince out, I'm out. To hell with this. I'm out. There's a lot of lore out there that Michael and Prince didn't like each other. I say that lore is mostly bullshit, ladies and gentlemen. And not only bullshit, but it's a cover for some covert actions that Michael and Prince were involved in. And right after we take this break, I'm going to come back, finish up this presentation, and we will get to your calls. But right now, we're going to take a break. We're going to hear from one of our great sponsors. This is Late Night in the Heartland. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, and we'll be back right after this to finish up our presentation and bring you, whoops, I forgot to do something, and bring you, my bad. Come on, man. I said stop. You got to click the box that says share the audio. Sometimes I forget, but not anymore. Now, right after this, we'll be back with more.
I met in 2008. We had a mutual interest in consciousness, the evolution of consciousness, both individually and for organizations.
We'd encountered an inventor who had been working on a free energy device for about 7 years before I met him. And he worked together with a small team, and they didn't create a free energy device, but they kind of stumbled upon a way to focus life force energy on a small location or an object. We combined our backgrounds. Jeff has a manufacturing and engineering background with his companies, and I have a kinesiology background as well as a coaching background. So we combine these two backgrounds to create the service that you're able to enjoy today. We worked on supporting the planet in 2011 to rise in consciousness as much as possible when we first started experimenting with the technology together. Over that year, we refined it quite a bit. We did many global service projects which still run today. And that was the beginning of the service. It was actually intended just to help humanity.
And at the end of 2012, we celebrated. Mm-hmm. You know, we did the work. We helped to raise consciousness, we thought, and helped to support the transition that many people felt was coming in 2012. And then we started the company as a way for people to take this technology, this way of raising consciousness, and use it themselves in their own homes, and to also benefit the entire planet by having more and more people on the service. And our mission of FLFE, as we started the business, is to support the optimal conditions for the evolution of consciousness in an economized society, which means working and holding a job and being a householder, so to speak. And for us, rising in consciousness, supporting that evolution in consciousness, is really supporting increased freedom. That as we rise in consciousness, we see it as increased freedom, freedom to live our dream, to be all that we can be, to be free financially, to be free health, and to be free from limiting thoughts and beliefs or maybe patterns of behavior that we'd like to move away from.
And that's Focus Life Force Energy, ladies and gentlemen. And it's my oldest sponsor. They're a great company, and I encourage you to go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the Focus Life Force Energy logo, and check them out. It's an absolutely fantastic product, and I think that you'll really enjoy it. So let's jump right back into our presentation as soon as I get back to the right spot, and we will be off and running, and then we'll get to your calls, ladies and gentlemen. So we're talking about the Jehovah's Witness connection. If Michael quits, Prince quits, this Illuminati, this Freemasonic, this Bilderberger group is going to take some big hits. And there's a lot of lore out there that Prince and Michael didn't like each other. I suggest that this lore is just a cover, because I think that Michael and Prince were working together for the betterment of humanity. There's a reason why Michael named his son Prince, by the way. Prince and Michael were both Jehovah's Witnesses. And in my mind, both Paul McCartney and Prince turned Michael on to the deep Illuminati connections. Prince more so with Dick Gregory, the Nation people, the chemtrails, all that. You've heard Prince talk about that. Prince turned Michael onto this, and then Michael left the Witnesses and started becoming aware, along with his getting some auditing and becoming clear through Lisa Marie. And Prince helped inspire Michael to help him, work with him to take on the limpid Illuminati-controlled music industry. They both had suffered charges of pedophilia. They both wanted to fight back against those people that did that to them, and also against the children that were being victimized by true child predators. So I suggest that Prince and Michael were covertly working together, and I think they were probably working with Donald Trump to take on this pedophilic network. And I know it sounds crazy, but I just have a little tickle in the back of my mind that says that, and this is where that ethereal human comes in, ethereal man. Ethereal kind of means from another realm. Michael and Prince might not have been fully human. I see Michael and Prince do things that I don't think a human can do. I mean, Prince is about 5 feet off the ground there. I've seen that bitch do shit that I don't think a human can do. Maybe they can. I don't know. But my sneaking suspicion is that Prince and Michael might both have been of the Fae. They might both have been interdimensionals. They might have both been advanced ethereal humans. And they were working together to try to raise the consciousness of all humans. That's just my supposition. Let's wrap it up and talk about the Trump card. It's clear in my mind that Donald Trump fed Michael that best is yet to come line, knowing that Trump was going to feature it and use it in his work trying to take back the republic. Michael and Donald Trump shared a hatred for pedophilia and child trafficking. Michael might have got to the place where he couldn't take it anymore. Michael might have got to the place where he realized, even being the most famous man in the world, you can't beat the Illuminati alone. And it is a good idea to have Batman on your side, Donald Trump. Did Donald Trump help Michael fake his death and help him disappear? I don't know. I don't know, but it makes a hell of a show to think about it. Did Prince do the same? I don't know. Are they somewhere jamming and planning? Is Michael and Prince living behind the scenes, fighting the war against this dark practice? Is Michael and Prince part of the plan? And are they working with our great President Donald Trump? I don't know. I don't know, but it makes a hell of a show to think about it, doesn't it? Oh, come on, Jeff. Whoops, shit. How far would Michael go to save the children? What wouldn't Michael do to save the children? What wouldn't Michael do to save the children? The best is yet to come, and won't it be fine? Was he a monster, or was he an ethereal man? Ladies and gentlemen, the king of pop, the one, the only, Michael Jackson. What say you? I really don't know. I really don't know. But I know there's a chance. There's a chance that something remarkable is going to happen. There's a chance that something beautiful is going to happen. There's a chance that we're not facing the Great Reset, but the Great Awakening. And as long as there's a chance, I'm going to hold tight to it. And you can make jokes and you can laugh and you can troll. But as long as there's a chance that there's a Great Reset, a Great Awakening and not a Great Reset, I'm going to hold on to it tenaciously as a bulldog. And if you don't like it, you can kiss my ass right in the crack. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower. This is the Unindoctrination Station. You're listening to Late Night in the Heartland. And as we always do, we open up the phone lines. The lines are now open at 913-279-0831. You can talk about Michael Jackson. You can talk about anything you want. The lines are open. The forum is open. I only ask that you be polite. I only ask that you be interesting. And I want to thank Michelle for our great $3 Super Pal chat. I have a feeling she wants a book. I just got a nice video from Joe about Michael. I got some other stuff from Joe. Thank you so much. But be polite, be interesting, and be on point. And here's our first caller. Let's jump right in. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty. Turn your background down so then you'll be able to hear me and I'll be able to hear you.
I turned it down. Yeah, this is Cabbage.
Cabbage, what's up, brother?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm listening to your presentation, man, about Mike. And yeah, you know, he had Mike had you know, when the Pepsi commercial when he got burnt up.
Yep.
You know, that's when he made a move because it was like, you know what I mean, they had him on I think Murray Povich too, you know, under another name, assumed name. So, you know, he's still around, you know. And yeah, he's a good dude. So, you know.
Do you think that Pepsi thing was a hit on Michael?
Oh yeah, it was for sure. I heard the little phone conversation the dudes had too. They had put that out there that how they was gonna burn him up. You know what I'm saying? And,
shit.
Know, when he was live doing the commercial, that's when somebody was up top. They dropped something down on him on his hair, you know, and he caught on fire.
Damn. Yeah. I remember that, but I didn't know that it was a hit. That's good intel. Thanks, Cabbage. What else is on your mind, brother?
All right. You know, it's nice hearing you, man. I'm listening every night. You got some good shit. Hopefully I'll open my own podcast one day and we can all be,
Cabbage,
do our
if you
thing.
if you do a channel or a podcast, I will do everything I can to help you. Just let me know.
All right.
Take care, Cabbage. Thanks so much. All righty. Late Night in the Heartland, you're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeffrey, this is Robin.
Hey, Robin.
How are you?
I'm great.
It's a great show. I just wanted to say a couple of things.
Okay.
I think Michael Jackson is alive. Have you seen the Larry King show with Dave on it?
I haven't, and I don't know if he's Dave or not. I know that there are people that think that he is.
It sounds like him,
Really? Okay.
And, yeah, it does. If you could look at that, you should, because it sounds just like him.
Well, Chris Tucker sounds just like him too, but I know what you're saying. I'll look it up. Dave on Larry King.
And one more thing, Elvis. I know I seen an interview where his girlfriend said that when he was in the casket that he was sweating.
Which girlfriend was that?
It was the one that he was with at the time.
So that would be Ginger Alden. And just let me give you a little perspective on Ginger Alden. Ginger and Elvis had been in a fight because I'm pretty sure that Elvis was about ready to break up with Ginger. And Ginger heard Elvis fall off the toilet, but she didn't want to go in there and help him. She said, let his ass lay there, because she was mad.
Oh my God.
When Ginger found him dead, the first call that Ginger made was to the National Enquirer, not to the doctor. So I'm not really inclined to believe much of anything that Ginger Alden has to say. And she's welcome to come on this show and straighten me out if she'd like to. I'd be perfectly willing to listen to her. But that's what Charlie Hodge told me, Elvis's best friend. Thank you for that great call. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeffrey Daugherty. This is Jose. I actually called yesterday during the Willy Wonka show and brought up Michael, so I'm just so glad that you were able to dive in and give me all this information.
So I can blame you for the 9 hours I spent on this today.
Oh man, it's a trippy wormhole, isn't it though?
It is a wormhole, and I didn't get all the way down it even in 9 hours, but it's some trippy shit. Do you think that he's still alive?
Oh yeah, and I think the best is yet to come when it comes to the child trafficking and fighting against it.
Dude, I just got chills when you said that.
Yeah, when Trump got that boat and that big boat, the big white one, and people were like, "Why is he bringing that for COVID? What's he using that for?" Everyone was talking about it was to save the underground child breeding and torture chambers that were in New York, and there were nurses saying that they had some really messed up kids that they were taking care of. So I believe that MJ and Trump, they're doing some next level 5D, 60, 90 chess to save that. This is all about the children at the end of the day. It's because these underground reptilian bunkers and stuff like that, it's all about child sacrifice and weird stuff like that.
Do you think Prince is involved?
Go ahead.
Do you think Prince is involved?
Prince? All right, Prince is an ethereal being for a fact. He is a fae. I don't know what he is, but he's next level. And I want to believe that Prince is involved. One, because I love his music, and two, because he's just a next level interdimensional being.
Yeah, I didn't. I'll be frank with you. I didn't listen to Michael's music. I didn't listen to Prince's music. But in the study of this, I became drawn to both of those. They were great human beings. They really were.
Oh yeah, Prince shreds. He's a multi-instrumentalist. That Purple Rain album shreds. Like his guitar playing skills. But other than their music and stuff, I did have one thing that I wanted to bring up for a future show, if you mind listening.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know if you've done a show of this in the past, but there's this guy named Donald Marshall who talks about cloning centers and things of that nature. And there's this stuff that there's the underground cloning centers in America where certain people who have been cloned, when they go to sleep, they wake up in the cloning center and get tortured in their clone's consciousness. And they say that the Chancellor, you know the Chancellor?
Yes.
The Chancellor apparently was the man who, quote unquote, sold the world, which was what's his name? The guy with the red hair, and he wore dresses and stuff. I forgot his name. Jeez. Man. David Bowie. David Bowie made a song called The Man Who Sold the World. And allegedly, these Donald Marshall believers and cloning center believers say that that song was about David Bowie going to sleep, his consciousness in the cloning center, and they have arenas where they torture children and feed them to the reptilians and stuff.
Is that connected with what was that guy? It's his last interview, and he got killed, and he talks about being taken underground. What the hell is that guy's name? Anyway, I can't remember. I'll look him up. Thank you for that.
No problem. And keep up the good work, man. Take care.
Hey, I appreciate you. Keep up the good calls. Thanks, Jose. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Jeffrey, it's Camille from Western New York. How you doing?
Camille, I'm doing better now that I hear from you.
Okay, listen, I know you don't want me to ask that, but it's kind of an intro for me. But I want to let you know, too, that if you watch Michael Jackson's memorial service, you saw all his brothers and sisters wearing sunglasses. But Jermaine specifically was actually smiling through the whole service.
And not only that, I didn't put this in the presentation because there's so much information, but Diana Ross and Macaulay Culkin and Chris Tucker, arguably his three closest friends, were laughing and joking like they were at a wedding, not a funeral.
Exactly. Right. And that's kind of what I was trying to make a point of, because even I think even with Elvis's daughter, she actually made a slip up, and actually you'd have to find it, I don't know, documentary or whatever, but she slipped up too and said he wasn't dead.
I heard her. That Michael wasn't dead.
No, that Elvis wasn't dead.
Honey, I'm telling you, I know 100% for sure that Elvis is dead. I wish he was alive. Okay. Elvis is 100% dead. He's not buried at Graceland. I've been to the real grave. Exactly. I've been to the real grave. He's 100% dead.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, there have been so many. I mean, like you said, there's been so many celebrities that have been told to be dead. Jim Morrison's still alive. He's in an insane asylum. He's in a nursing home over in France, because that's where his father was a CIA agent.
Well, his father was actually an admiral in the Navy who faked the Gulf of Tonkin incident, which got us into Vietnam.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, but there are all these people that were thinking, oh my gosh, they crossed over, but a lot of times they're not. I really don't think they are. So anyway, have a good night. Talk to you later. Thanks for sharing.
I really appreciate you. It's a pleasure to be serving you, and I really think that that's what I'm here for. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
How you doing tonight, Jeff?
Doing well. What's on your mind?
This is a great show.
Thank you.
I got a question for the Rods.
All right.
Paul Walker was maybe going to expose the Clinton Foundation, so maybe he's in on all this. Was his death fake as well?
Was Paul Walker's death fake? The Rods say no.
That's a shame.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know them to be wrong very often, but that doesn't mean that they're 100% right. So, it is what it is.
Correct. This was for us, me and S. Gaga.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a Rod question for the two of us. So.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Have a good night, my friend.
Take care. Bye-bye. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty. Whoops. Did I miss the button? You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeff.
Hi, what's up?
I wanted to mention something that you said struck something with me about a video that I had seen on Anna. It was like a home video of Anna Nicole Smith.
Uh-huh.
And she acted so strange. She was pregnant, and her daughter was painting her face, and she was painting her like a clown, and she acted extremely childlike. Like, really, when you said something about Michael Jackson acting, extremely childlike.
Anna Nicole Smith acted childlike?
Yes. Just, she talked very baby-fied, and she didn't act like she was pregnant, actually, at the time when I saw the video. And anyway, something else I wanted to mention. I saw a video on Katy Perry. She was given a tour of her baby room, and she was dressed like a clown.
How about that?
I wanted to ask the Rods if it was possible that if these people are under MK Ultra, if it puts them in like a childlike state.
Does MK Ultra tend to put people into a childlike state? The Rods say yes.
Oh my God!
And I think that's probably
so
true.
Crazy when you said that.
I think it's probably true.
Wow, that's crazy because they both, like I said, Anna Nicole Smith. You couldn't even tell. I mean, she didn't talk no sense. And then when I saw Katy Perry's video on her baby tour, it was the same thing. It was just so, she acted so crazy. It was just so bizarre.
Nutty stuff.
Both of them.
Nutty stuff. Anything else on your mind?
No, great show. I love it.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Take care. Great stuff tonight, folks. Keep it coming. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how are you tonight? What's up?
I'm good. I was just wondering why you were talking shit to my boy Zach, and didn't want to talk to him on this stream. You know, I think you should show my man some respect. He's doing some hard work out here. What are you doing? Just educating about nonsense. So how about you show my man some respect? If not,
how about you get the fuck off of my channel and shut up? Zachary Hubbard is a pathetic piece of shit that uses nothing but black magic to deceive people. All I did was talk about the facts of the bullshit he talked about, a man who he couldn't even carry the sweaty jockstrap of, and that is young Pharaoh, a true man that is helping change the world. And Zachary Hubbard can't even change his own adult diaper, and he can't even call in and have an intelligent conversation because he's a pathetic individual, and he's had way too much time on the show already. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, how's it going, Jeff?
Going great, man.
The whole Michael Jackson thing, it just seems like after the Thriller album, right? That's what they called them back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And then you had the plastic surgery. It just seems like it was a completely different person.
He looked really great at Thriller time. You know, he had a little bit done. He was looking really good.
Exactly.
I mean, he looked super handsome. He was at the top of his game with Thriller.
He had a really good nose job.
Oh, it was he looked fantastic. It was a great nose job, and they say it actually helped him sing. It corrected some nasal irregularities and improved his voice.
Well, hey, I remember, and I don't know, I had sisters, right?
Yeah.
So I grew up with Michael Jackson and the Jackson 5 and the Osmond pictures from like Tiger magazine, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
He had a big nose, right?
Exactly. And he got it fixed, and it actually improved his improved his singing. So it was not only just for looking better, it was also very much functional. Absolutely. Thank you. Anything else?
Well, what have we had ever since? We had this very strange looking dude where his nose fell off at times, it seems.
Yeah.
Holding his baby over a balcony. I don't know. It's been like a psyop ever since.
Right. Interesting. It really has been. It's very, very interesting. I appreciate the call. Thanks so much. And I really appreciate all of the trolls that are in the channel, because I love getting the views. I love getting the minutes of view time, because it pushes me up higher in the algorithms, and more people see this channel. So please, if you're trolling the channel right now, would you please call about 5 or 6 of your loser friends? I know none of them have dates. Call 5 or 6 of your losers friends that are also living in their mother's basements. Have them get on this channel and have him troll the shit out of me. Please We love trolls. We want more trolls. Please, trolls, come on down. Come on down, because we want to get this message out to more people. And the more people that watch, and the higher the views are, and the higher the minutes of views are, the higher we get up in the algorithms, and the more people we get organic views from. So thank you, trolls. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love my trolls. Bring them on. Bring them on. And I love your hate, because I use that shit. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeff, it's Get Dagger. I figured I'd call in because I have met Paul McCartney years ago after his show in Edmonton, and it was like -20 outside, snowing. His security was pretty tight, wouldn't let us take pictures with him, but it was very nice. Like, I felt bad when I got up to him. He signed my album, and he started talking to me, and I was like, I didn't really want to, because there was quite a big line behind me, so I didn't want to, like, I felt kind of rude, like, kind of just kind of like hurrying it up and that, but no, he's a really nice guy, and I don't know if he's the real Paul McCartney or not, but all I know is the one right now is really nice.
You know, I've heard, Get Dagger, that McCartney is a real gentleman, and my buddy, the same guy that we met Elvis from, and the same guy that he produces TV shows. He did a great show with James Burton, and they had a lot of people come in, and McCartney was supposed to be there, but he got laryngitis really bad, and he couldn't attend the event. And I was so upset, because I really wanted to meet Paul and get a chance to hang out with him. So thank you so much. That really concurs with what I've heard about Paul McCartney. And we'll see. One of these days we'll know. And I have a feeling that Paul McCartney is going to tell us the truth, and it'll probably be posthumously once he dies. I think he's got something written, and he's going to release the whole truth to the world. And I hope that he doesn't die, because he's a great musician, and he's a lot of fun. And this hit me today. I was saying to Cynthia, I said, Paul's lyrics aren't very deep, are they? And as soon as I said it, the words came out of my mouth. And I just heard in my mind, how does that song go? About silly love songs. You think the world would have enough of silly love songs? I look around me and I see it isn't so. So Paul was really parodying himself, because he knows that people say that his songs are silly love songs. But Paul's just trying to bring a little joy to the world. He goes, what's wrong with that? I'd like to know. Because here I go again, another little silly love song. So Paul McCartney, Sir Paul, if you happen to be listening, we hope that you continue to write your silly little love songs for many more years, because you're right. The world does need more silly love songs. We appreciate you, Sir Paul, for the work you've done. And if you ever do want to tell the truth and share the story, and you want someone to help you share it, it would be my honor and my privilege. We appreciate you, and you're one hell of a man for going through what you've gone through and trying to give back to humanity like you've done. So thank you, Sir Paul McCartney. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Jeff, it's John in Tulsa.
John in Tulsa, what's up, brother?
Well, I like the way you like these different colored coats, so I'm going to send you a couple of pictures. My dad was a real rack. He was an insurance agent here in Tulsa, and he wore pinks and yellows and
good for him.
All kinds of, and I got some of his coats. I'm going to take a couple pictures and send them to you.
Please do.
Also, Doug Sanders, the golfer, used to live here in Tulsa, and I used to wash his car for him. He had a big yellow Dodge convertible. I think it was a Dodge.
Oh,
but anyway,
nice.
My dad had a '79 Eldorado, which I restored, and it was yellow with yellow leather interior.
Those are gorgeous cars.
That stainless steel top. Yeah, beautiful car. I finally got rid of it, but I kept it for years, drove it for years. And anyway, I just call. I want to see a couple pictures and talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it so very much. John from Tulsa. It's not a show until John from Tulsa calls in. It's really not. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty. Please turn down your radio and talk to me.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Hi, I'm calling from California. This is regarding one of your older shows.
Okay.
Regarding Donald Trump and the Bolshevik movement.
Okay.
I was born in Soviet Union, and when Donald Trump came up as a president, he was kind of catalyst for me, and I voted the first time in my life.
Thank you.
And I think everyone needs a hero, and I truly still believe that he's genuine, and he's our man.
I agree.
But at the same time, the comparison to the Bolshevik movement, which our family lived in Soviet Union, looking at Vladimir Lenin, I'm pretty sure you know who he is. He was the father of the Bolsheviks. So, and also you said there was a 5-year period where the Bolshevik movement worked out, and it was implanted into the politics, and led the Trust Project. So when you were comparing that to Trump, a question came to me, and would you ask the Rod if Trump is a modern day Lenin?
Is Trump a modern day Lenin? The Rods say no. I would compare President Trump to a politician and leader of that era, but it would not be Vladimir Lenin. Thank you for that very, very insightful call. It's late night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Yes, sir. I just want to say, the guy the other day that said the guy from Star Trek died, I had that same memory.
Oh, that William Shatner died? You had that same memory, huh?
Yeah, I had it. I thought he had a heart attack.
Well, I'm glad he's still alive in this timeline. I really do enjoy William Shatner. He's a great gentleman, or at least he was to me, and I hope he has a long and happy life.
As well. And also the JFK thing in 2012, I was looking that up and I was watching it really intensely, and there was not the two people in the car, like in between the driver and
right.
Those people weren't there before.
Right. I hear you. There's some really, really, really weird stuff involved in the JFK assassination. We did a show on that not too long ago. If you look back on the channel, you'll see it.
I was watching it over and over, and those two people weren't there. And now just to see this like new reality that was not there. And also I've been watching some stuff on Elvis and how they're, it seems like he's like, some people are trying to act like he's the devil or something, but he's definitely, you know, like an alien or something, like the like how you're saying that Prince and
maybe
sure. He's the king of rock and roll. He's definitely up there.
I really appreciate the call. And you know, Elvis, you know, all this, whenever you are a person that is of a high vibration and trying to change the world, you're going to get cockroaches come against you. And, you know, I'm going to pat myself in the back a little bit, but, you know, in the chat tonight, it's obvious for that, you know, that's obvious that it happens here too. But again, you know, when you get, let me teach you a little bit about energy. Love is a great energy for obvious reasons. You take it, you use it. Hate is actually probably a stronger emotion and energy than love. And when I get the trolls, they come at me with the hate. They're shooting a flaming arrow. I catch the arrow. I blow off their intention. And now I've got all this great energy. I put it right into my quiver, and I'm making more videos exposing more cockroaches. So not only do they help me get this message out to more people by their trollery, so I love you trolls, mwah, 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 they also give me more energy. Mwah, mwah, mwah. It's a win-win for me. So if you can't love me, please hate the fuck out of me. Just don't be indifferent. Just don't be indifferent. Stacy, I really think that hate's more powerful than love in an energetic sense when it's directed at people. It's late night in the Heartland, and you're live with Jeffrey Daugherty. It's Haterade.
What?
It's Jeff Daugherty. You're live. What's up?
Well, this is Tim. I'm calling to tell you I love you, and I thank you, and I appreciate you.
Tim, I really appreciate it very much. I was just reading something out of the chat. I wasn't talking to you.
Okay. Well, I've been on the phone 2 hours every day for 3 months listening to you. That's a big chunk of time.
That's amazing. I thank you very much for it.
And it's been worth my time because I'm 100% in agreement with you in the big pictures of things, and I love listening to you fill in the details.
Well, thank you. That's a great compliment.
It validates me, acknowledges me, and I feel I had a big soul healing with you.
Wow, that's great. Thank you.
And I have a question to ask at the end of this, but 2 hours a day of my time, I want to say goodbye to you. I'm going to get on my road, do what I can do in 2 hours rather than just, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what? Thank you so much. It touches my heart that you gave us this time. You're always welcome to come back. And tonight we're jammed up, huge numbers, larger numbers than ever, many, many calls. We're going to continue on past midnight. We're going to continue on past midnight. So keep calling and please keep trolling because it's just driving our numbers through the roof. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty. Hello, you're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
I just had a question for the Rods.
All right, what is it?
I was just wanted to ask why you said such hateful things about Zachary Hubbard's channel and you're not able to back it up live on his channel.
It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Yes, this is Tim again. Somehow we lost the connection.
Yeah, I cut it off. I was just moving on to the next call. We got a lot stacked up. What's on your mind, Tim, real quick?
Well, I had one question after 3 months.
Okay.
You use the word over and over, limb.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Can you define what that means?
No, I can't. You have to kind of read between the lines. And if you've watched me as much as you say you've watched me, and I'm not saying that you haven't, but you would know who the limpants are. There's some things we can say. There's some things we can't say. So we try to be creative and we try to do what we can as well as we can do it. And if you think about it and search yourself, you'll understand what we're talking about. Thank you again. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Catherine in Ohio.
Catherine in Ohio. It's been too long.
Yeah. So, okay, where to begin? Okay, well, the Silly Love Songs thing. I don't know if you heard about the story about Yoko.
No, tell me about the story about Yoko.
Oh, okay, so Yoko and John were saying that John's songs were worth more because he dealt with deeper issues than Silly Love Songs.
Oh, so they really did voice about. So my supposition is you're backing me up. John and Yoko are backing me up. I like it. Keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was known that Yoko and Paul were always enemies.
Yeah, cats and dogs, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Yoko's a dude anyway. I was looking at her the other day and I was like, oh.
So that means that John liked the D, huh?
I don't know. I don't want to say either way. All right. So then here's another thing. So, Moonwalker. I don't know if you mentioned it because I was trying to do a crash course on what Moonwalker was about with Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that movie?
I have not.
Oh, okay. So it's a Mandela effect for me.
Oh, is it?
And yeah. So is Smooth Criminal, the song that's in it.
Dude, I don't know how the fuck you can lean over like that and still be a human being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Keep going.
It's really... Anyway, so I was like, is he making a comment about the moon landing?
Ooh, I'm going to have to look that up. The first time I never even thought about Michael Jackson. I didn't know anything about Michael Jackson. I took my kids, I think, to Disney World, and that was back when they were playing Captain EO.
Yep.
And I'm like, who is this motherfucker? He can sing, he can dance, he can act. I'm like, damn. That was my introduction to Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm. So in this Moonwalker movie, Joe Pesci plays this child nabber, and he wants to get them all hooked on drugs.
Oh.
All the kids. Yeah. So that's what Michael's trying to do, is save these kids from getting on drugs.
I got to watch this now. Moonwalker, Michael Jackson.
It's on YouTube. I was crash course watching it while you were.
Do you think Michael's alive?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
I do, but I think that Elvis is alive too, dude. Have you seen this Pastor Bob Joyce guy?
Oh, Bob Joyce can't sing a fucking note compared to Elvis. I'm sorry.
Oh, I know. I mean, but what if he's just holding back, man? Ask the Rods. Ask him if Elvis is alive.
No, he's not alive. I know he's not alive, but we'll ask.
Come on. Ask the Rods, I dare you.
Is Elvis Presley still alive? They say no.
All right. I mean, I like Elvis, so
dude, I have urinated in the toilet Elvis died on. I've been backstage at Graceland. I've talked with Charlie Hodge and Larry Geller, and I've been drunk as shit with Charlie Hodge and JD Sumner. It's not, he's dead. I wish he was alive, but he's dead, man. He's dead.
I know. I'm a hopeful one. I keep hoping that all these suicided or different people might be on the white, hat side. And
yeah. What do you think about Prince? Is Prince alive?
I bet.
Yeah. Those two were something
about
else.
Chemtrails before he died.
Yeah. Prince was dropping some bombs, man.
Yeah, definitely. Very interesting guy. And then I guess that whole symbol thing I heard was to get out of his contract.
Yeah. So, and it ain't no coincidence that Prince was saying to Michael, you got to get out of these bitches too. They're fucking you. And so they both did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's an interesting thing. I can't wait to see what's all going to come out. It's like there's like a little trail of breadcrumbs everywhere.
And the doctor never signed Michael's. What the hell is LaToya doing signing the death warrant?
She's a lot of things, but she's not a doctor.
She's a lot of things, but one of them ain't a fucking doctor.
That's all I got tonight, man.
That's it? You ain't got even one more thing for me?
Yeah.
Give it to me. Come on, Catherine. I've been waiting for your call.
Let me think. Let me dig deep here. I was trying to think if there was one more thing.
How about Robin Williams? Is he alive?
Oh, yeah. Let's ask.
Oh, we'll do that. I have a bad taste in my mouth about Robin Williams. Is Robin Williams still alive? The Rod saying emphatic no. I was a stand-up comic for a while, and Robin Williams was famous for going to open mics. You know what an open mic is?
Yeah.
And he would steal people's jokes. Some of his best jokes were stolen from other young comics. So that's why I have a bad taste about that.
Like, what's his face? Bill Cosby, didn't he steal that one joke?
I didn't know about that. I haven't known about that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maurice says, if Jill Biden can be a doctor, so can LaToya. Oh, that's good stuff. Thanks so much, Catherine.
All right, see you, man.
Bye-bye. Catherine from Ohio, ladies and gentlemen. It's late night in the heartland, and I'll bet this is a troll because they always put unknown caller. So are you a troll?
No, it's Get Dagger calling.
Oh, it's Get Dagger. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I clicked on one that said, anyway, good. I'm glad you're here.
No worries. Yeah, everybody's talking about, McCartney, Prince, and all that stuff. I'd seen, I don't know if you've seen Prince's sister sing at his funeral.
No.
But she looks very similar to him, and she's like if you look, if you do research in that, like she just popped up like out of nowhere.
Oh,
and
shit!
It sounded just like him. So I'm just ready to ask the Rod: is Prince his sister?
Wow. Is Prince his sister? The Rods give no answer. That's interesting.
Oh, darn. No,
that's a great question.
Yeah, I figured because I saw it and I've looked into it a bit, and you kind of compare them a lot. Sort of like I've also seen the comparison done with Princess Diana and I keep forgetting his name, David Furnish, Elton John's husband.
I've seen that.
it's creepy. Like it's like almost identical when they do that. I don't know. Just ask the rods if Princess Di is David Furnish.
Is Princess Di David Furnish? They say no. But Dagger, thanks for that great call. Great entertainment. I really appreciate it. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeff, it's Dawn.
Hey, what's up?
I'm a regular caller all the time, so I'm going to make this quick and short.
Take your time.
Thanks for this presentation tonight. I love it. I had to call on this one. I have loved Michael Jackson since I was a little girl. And there is nobody, his heart is or was genuine. I believe with all my heart he is or was an empath. The thing I remember most right before his death is I could see a lot of pain all over him.
Yes.
That broke my heart. I cried and cried and cried when he passed away. But that's all I basically want to say. And I just want to thank you for doing this show. It's just kind of like a tribute to him.
Well, I appreciate that. And, you know, I had the great privilege of meeting Michael and, you know, silly story, but just, I mean, he was just the sweetest, kindest, love and gentleness more than anything else just oozed out of him.
Well, he's awesome, and this is an awesome show. Can I ask Rod one quick question?
Sure, you can.
Does Dawn need some new rods?
Does what?
Does Dawn need some new rods?
Does Dawn need some new rods? It says yes. Email me your address, and if you got them from me, I'll send you some new ones for free.
Well, how much? Well, I'll email you my address. Just let me know how much they are. Okay?
All right, will do. Thanks so much, Dawn. I really appreciate it. It's Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Oh, this is James. I just wanted to say that your videos inspired me to create my own channel, and I already got 113 subscribers in 2 weeks, so I'm only going to go up and up. I appreciate you.
James, tell us the name of your channel.
It's called Teeny Briss in all capital letters. TENEBRIS. That's the name of the channel.
TENEBRIS.
Yes, sir. You and Young Pharaoh are doing amazing. I appreciate y'all.
You know what? That is the highest compliment, to know that my efforts are making somebody else do. And I hope for you to pass this channel in the number of subscribers. Good on you, and thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Have a good night.
Bye-bye. That's great. I love it. Late Night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Oh, Jeff, I really do appreciate you for doing this tonight. It was a very good video and presentation, and you always take things to places that we never really think about. And I think that's what I appreciate most about the work that you do.
Thanks. Well, that's what I'm here for. You know, that's what I got to do. And do you think Michael's alive?
Well, we asked the Rods yesterday, and they said yes.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
How about, is Michael Jackson 17?
Oh, shit. Whoa, I never even thought about that. That gave me chills. Is Michael Jackson 17? This says yes, sort of. He's involved in 17.
I think that he faked his death, as did JFK Jr.
Holy shit, I got chills, man. My chill bumps got chill bumps.
I know. I've been thinking about this all day, Jeff. I've been bumping songs from Thriller, and I love the man, honestly. I mean, he has done so much for people, really. And I mean, the parts where you got choked up, I did too. And I've been going through some dark stuff, dark stuff in my life. And if you can kind of send out some healing energy to me, because I'm going through something related to that. So
okay, will do. Michael Jackson might be 17.
Yes.
Wow.
Absolutely. And yeah, it's crazy stuff. All the calls have been great. It was really awesome to hear from everybody else.
And I understand there's a great big queue at Neverland.
Yes.
Wow. More stuff to look at. Q at NL. Brandon, thanks so much, brother. We got a lot of people.
Thank you.
Did Prince have a song called 17 Days?
I am not familiar with his catalog, but believe you me, I'm downloading everything that I can find.
Joseph Lynch Jr. reports that he had a song named that. Brandon, thanks. We got people stacked up. I love it. We're going to keep going, ladies and gentlemen. It's late night in the heartland, and we're on overtime because we love trolls. What's on your mind tonight?
Hi, Jeffrey. How are you? I'm so glad to get to talk to you. So I saw a video today on YouTube where President Trump arrived in India, and they showed the car coming around with the men on the horsemen, and the commentator referenced President Trump as being the beast.
Really?
Yes. I looked at that video over and over again, and she truly called him the beast.
Interesting.
He arrived in India a couple of days ago, or maybe in the last week. This was real recent. And they showed the limousine coming around into the square of the city, and the commentator referenced him as being the beast. And I saw your video where you talked about JFK Jr., and Donald Trump. And you referenced him to the books of the first, second, and third books of John and Revelation. And as soon as she referenced him as the beast, chills went up and down my spine.
Boom. Thank you so much. I cut you off, but we got tons of people on hold. Thank you for that great point. Late night in the heartland, you're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
It's Casey.
It's Casey. What's up, girl?
What's up?
Talk to me.
Nice to talk to you. This is so cool. So anyways, I was just gonna kind of touch on that one thing that you said, because this is real big for me. I can understand totally why you would say that about hate being more powerful. And the only reason, and this is what I think, but I think it's because when it comes to hate and darkness and stuff, it's a pretty uniform, they're going to do these things and that's bad and that's how they're going to spread their evil and control and this, that, and other. Now, when people love and stuff like that, they don't want to attack, and they don't go after people in as a uniform of a process, so it's kind of spread out and the attention doesn't get, I guess.
Yep, I get you.
But that's just my opinion. I don't know.
I think you're right. I think hate is hate's energy is hot and love's energy might be cold, or it's different, but it's the same. But at the end of the day, you're right. Love is more powerful than hate. But I love the hate. I mean, I love these haters. It just fuels me.
If you're hating, then I'm doing something right,
Absolutely. What else is on your mind? I know you held on for a long time.
Yeah, but I just wanted to kind of put that out there, and I wanted to say hi to everybody. So love you guys.
Thank you. Hey, we love you too. Thanks so much. Really, really appreciate it. I love all of the calls tonight. I really appreciate you guys very, very much. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for being in the chat. One more time, thank you so much to the trolls. We appreciate the numbers. We appreciate being able to get out to more people organically. You're doing me a great favor. I hope that your boy stays butthurt for a long, long time, because I love you long time, troll. I love you long time, troll. Love you long, long time, troll. Troll, come here. I'd love you long time, troll. Oh, I love trolls. I love trolls. Oh, Sarah with a great point. Gonna party like it's 1999. That's nines. No. The majesty of 369. How about that? No, the majesty of 369. Laura wrote a song called 17. She was born on 7/17/77. In regards to Q, my question is 17. We can't say that on the air. We talk about Fight Club. We talk about 17 because we can't talk about that number or that letter. And another thing you think about as a nod, did Prince go? I know he became a symbol because of the record thing, but Was Prince giving a nod out to, hey, there's a symbol coming, a person that's just a symbol, just a letter that you should pay attention to? Ooh, it's late night in the His Al. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Jeffrey. Hello, Jeffrey. This is Cruz Michael. How are you tonight?
I'm doing
I'm
great.
do
How
it
are
like
you?
Everybody else, we can't help it.
I know. What's up?
Oh, I'm so grateful to be able to talk to you, and I appreciate everything you do. And I just want to say I feel so included in the chat, even though last night that little comment, I was just seeing if everybody was paying attention or not. It was just a little warped sense of humor I have.
Absolutely.
But I just wanted to say, with Michael Jackson, it was really kind of neat because we had gone out to Reno, where Circus was.
Yep.
And we were in the like area where the games and stuff are, and like about 40 people, this crowd just came in, and it was like not many people like around. Then this crowd comes in, and he only had like 2 bodyguards. But where my sister was playing the water balloon game, you know, he came and sat down right next to her, and he said, "You having any luck?" And he said, "Well, let's see what we can do." And he was like so much like a kid, and he was so sweet, all smiles and just this and that. But he did sign one autograph, and it happened to be for her that night. But they hung out in that arcade area for hours. But I snuck out with one of the employees and did some donuts in the snow in the parking lot. You know, it was a good reason for me
That's
to be able to get away.
amazing. It was Michael, huh?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
It was Michael, huh?
Yes, Michael Jackson. We couldn't believe it, you know, because I mean, we grew up in Atlanta, and we went to a lot of shows, and we've met a lot of people backstage, but I never got to see him perform in concert, and I've seen a lot of the greats.
Wow.
But
You're really breaking up. I had to let you go as you're really breaking up. That is an exciting story. And I've never heard anybody say anything but good about Michael. And, you know, like I said, I never was one of his fans, but now I'm becoming very, very appreciative of the man. And he's really more than a man. And I appreciate Michael very, very much. It's late night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hi, Jeffrey. This is Corinne from Virginia Beach.
Hi.
Hi. And I just wanted to say fabulous show again tonight. And I heard about the possibility of Michael Jackson being alive, I'm going to say about at least 2 years ago. And I came across a photo of him it showed him at his own funeral. He was dressed as a female, and sitting next to him was a guy that looked awfully like JFK Jr.
Wow, there you go.
It was very interesting. And I've always maintained that Michael Jackson was framed with all the child abuse stuff. I never believed it.
Wow. Well, thanks for that. That gives us something else to think about. Much appreciated. It's late night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, I was wanting to ask a question. Sometimes when I look at the clock, or actually often when I look at the clock, I see like 5:55 or 4:44 or 11:11. Do you know if that means anything?
It means that you often look at the clock at 5:55, 4:44, or 11:11. That's exactly what it means. It's late night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeffrey, I'm just thinking about Prince and everything, and how he was such an accomplished musician, had mastered over 30 instruments, had a brilliant mind.
Yes.
And I'm thinking about Party Like It's 1999, and I'm also thinking about Robert Seffer, 1666.
Yes. What a brilliant book.
Sin.
Say that again. Man of Sin. Yeah.
Yeah, Redemption Through Sin.
Redemption
Robert
Through Sin.
Cipher, 1666. 1999, 1666.
It's the same number.
Right.
Beautiful stuff. And, you know, Robert Seffer, I don't know what happened. He came into the chat room one day, and I was flying through it, and I must have said something that upset him. Robert, I hope you'll come back. I mean, we can certainly talk it out. I think it was about Noah's Ark, and that's certainly not anything to be upset about. I really appreciate your work. Your work is brilliant, and everybody knows Robert. And if I did something to offend him, I'm a big enough man to say I made a mistake, and I'm willing to talk about it. Not everybody is, but I am. For sure. It's late night in the Heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Hey, Jeffrey. It's Scott in Columbus.
Hey, Scott.
Hey. So I was thinking about how he always wore an armband on his arm.
He did. Michael did. I was just, I was looking at the pictures today, and I was working so hard. And I was thinking to myself, I got to think about that armband. Talk to me about it.
Okay. So I was looking it up, and traditionally it's something done for grief. And it seems like he started wearing the armband in the Smooth Criminal music video from Moonwalker. And he said he wore it to remember the children that were suffering and dying around the world.
Ooh, interesting. I also thought about the nationalist Germans wearing an armband. So I was just wondering, just these things go through my mind.
Yeah, that same thing that started me looking at it, and so I was digging while you were talking.
Yeah, yeah, because it might all be tied up, because we need nationalism in this country like we've never needed it before. Oh shit! How about this? The song Joseph Lynch Jr. This is brilliant shit. Joseph Lynch Jr. said that the song 1999 came out in 1982, which is 17 years before 1999. And he died in 2016, which is 17 years after 1999. And Michael's armband was usually red too.
So you're going to do one on Prince now?
I don't know, maybe. Thank you. That's a brilliant call. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, 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 wow. I don't even know, man. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Wow and crazy. Let me just look up and see what year. Prince song 1999. Prince song 1999 came out when? I got to verify. It's just me. 1999 song came out in 1982. Holy shit. That's a great catch. I love the minds of these people in this chat. It's late night in the heartland. You're live with Jeffrey Daugherty.
Catherine in Ohio, once again.
All right. I'm so glad to hear from you twice in the same night.
Right on, yeah. I almost forgot. Did you guys talk? I didn't listen to all the calls last night, but the Willy Wonka thing was amazing, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, for sure. So, during their weird little boat ride,
yeah,
they actually kill a chicken if you watch it close enough.
They kill a chicken?
Yeah.
Catherine, did they choke the chicken?
I think I have to watch it again. I don't know.
I just wondered if they choked the chicken.
Yeah.
Because that would be another reference, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. Yeah, but there was blood too. So it was like,
oh my God, I have to watch that again.
Yeah, it's super shocking. And I bet there's a bunch of other stuff if you slow it down.
So it's blood sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, man.
Super weird, man. And I mean, great show on that. I had my concerns about Roald and,
yes, Roald is a weird motherfucker.
Well, creepy guy, yeah, for sure. And I mean, anybody wants to read a weird book, the second Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is about him and Charlie going out into outer space. Like when they bust through with the elevator.
Yeah.
And they go out and meet a bunch of weird aliens and shit. It's incredible.
Wow. Maybe they were just tripping balls.
I don't know. But now when I kind of want to reread it. But then I think, why? Why bother? Ugh.
Crazy shit, Catherine. Crazy shit.
Yeah. Anyway, a little tidbit for you tonight.
I appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, that's some great stuff, folks. That is some great freaking stuff right there. I tell you what, that's some great stuff. You know what? We should probably go ahead and say good night. I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh and sing a song. And it seems we just get started. And before you know it, comes the time to say so long. I watched way too much Carol Burnett with my mother. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been late night in the heartland, and this has been a night for the ages. You guys were outstanding tonight. I want to say thank you again to the trolls. Thank you for contributing to our numbers. Thank you. And just by the way, since I announced this show about Pharaoh, we've had over 100 subscribers. So hate me long time, trolls. Hate me long time. I love you long time. It's late night in the heartland. Thank you for making my day. And yea, though we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, you don't have to fear no evil, because you're the baddest motherfuckers in the valley.